Hi, I'm Karen Covy, divorce lawyer, mediator, educator, and the author of When Happily Ever After Ends, How to Survive Your Divorce Emotionally, Financially, and Legally. I'd like to welcome you today to my 2-minute divorce tips. These are real answers to your divorce questions. And the question that I'd like to answer for you today is probably one of the top 2 questions that I get asked the most, and that is, how much is my divorce going to cost? And in true lawyer fashion, I will answer you, it depends. The more you fight, the more it's going to cost. And that's the way it works. But that having been said, let me give you 5 tips for keeping your divorce costs low. Tip number 1, talk to your spouse. Now, I know for some of you that is not what you want to hear. But the truth is, the more that you and your spouse can work things out yourselves, the less you're going to pay the lawyers. The more you fight, the more you're going to pay the lawyers. So talk to your spouse. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2, choose the right lawyer. Make sure you find somebody who's on the same page as you are, someone who's willing to work with you with the costs. Now, most lawyers are going to charge you by the hour, but there are some lawyers who will take a case if everything is agreed, they'll take it on a flat fee. See if you can find a lawyer who will do your case on a flat fee, or if they're going to charge you by the hour, make sure you know what your lawyer is charging you for and what they're doing. And if there's something that you don't need to have done or you don't want to have done, talk to your lawyer about that so that the two of you can work together to keep your costs low. Tip number 3, do your own legwork. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, divorce is a document-driven process. So you're going to need to produce things like your tax returns and your paycheck stubs and your bank account statements. The more you can go and get those documents yourself and bring them to your lawyer, the less it's going to cost you. If your lawyer has to send a subpoena to the bank and a subpoena to the credit card company and subpoenas to wherever, that's going to take longer and it's going to cost you more money. So do your own legwork. That's tip number 3. Tip number 4, get organized. If you take all those documents that you gathered and you just dump them on your lawyer's desk, your lawyer is going to have to spend the time to organize them all nicely to make sense of them. That costs you money. If you take the time to group everything in order, your bank statements are in one place, in reverse chronological order. Your credit card statements are in another place, in reverse chronological order. And you put everything nicely together for your lawyer, that's going to save your lawyer time and save you money. And tip number 5, stay out of court. The more that you can sit down and negotiate with your spouse directly, or if you can't talk to your spouse, use a mediator and mediate your case, or if that doesn't work, you can also try collaborative law. The bottom line is you want to use what's known as an alternative dispute resolution system, which is basically anything that keeps you out of court, because the more time you spend in court fighting, the more your divorce is going to cost. I hope you found these tips helpful. Please, if you have questions or comments, leave them for me below or email me at karen@karencovey.com. I look forward to seeing you next week for more 2-minute divorce tips.